Hey, welcome back, Rankers. I thought this week I'd show you a little bit about a couple of different tools that I'm using, which I've been using for years, which I think is just great. And also combine that with a little bit of competitor analysis, because I often get asked about that. Now remember, when you're trying to rank for something in Google, you're not trying to beat Google, you're not trying to trick Google, you're just trying to work out what the number one result's doing and do it a little bit better. So let's just take a random phrase like speeding fines, Victoria, completely random. And what I want to find out is, with this phrase, what is the volume of searches for it? So I'm going to go and have a look at Google Trends. And so first thing I'm doing is I'm just going to look at the root phrase. So I'm not geographically defining it further by saying Victoria. I'm saying just speeding fines. But I'm only looking in Australia and looking at over time, and I want to see the volume of that. You can see there's been a big uptick on that over the last few months. That's not me just doing the searches, that's other people, really. Now, if I scroll down here, I can see there's all these related searches, and this is why I love Google Trends. It not only gives me volume by region and those sorts of things, it gives it to me over time, and then it gives me some ideas of breakout phrases like demerit points, for instance. So let's go and have a look at demerit points and see who's ranking for that. But I'll just bring that one up here. But before I move off onto demerit points, let me just go and have a look at, say, speeding fines Victoria, because I'm defining it further. Because if I'm looking at speeding fines, I really don't care about speeding fines laws in New South Wales if I'm the Victorian driver, which I am, as it turns out. So I'm looking here and I can see here that, yes, government, Victorian government, police, Herald Sun. So nothing there to that really I'm looking for. If I just go speeding fines though, I can see that there's this site here, a couple of sites actually. Speeding fines what's that? AussieSpeedingFines.com, AussieSpeedingFines.com, and Speeding Fine Consultants. So as a user or a searcher, I should say, I'm going to find I want, this is actually the one I want. So I can go to that, but they're not ranking for the right phrase. They're just ranking for speeding fines. And if I just type in speeding fines, I'm not going to get necessarily exactly what I want. I'm only going to get all these government sites. I'm not going to get these guys who have this, great little book that you can read with all these ideas in it. So the next tool before I go off and show demerit points is that I want to show you is this tool by Aaron Wall, which I've been using for years, and this is probably an old version of it actually. And this is called SEO for Firefox, and it gives you all these little results under here. So it'll tell you the page rank of a page. Now, don't get too hung up on the page rank, except in this case, it's just interesting to have a look at. You can see here, fines.vic.gov.au has got a PR5, a page rank of 5. That AussieSpeedingFines.com has got a PR2. And then we've got a 4 and a 4 and a nothing here, possibly because this is a new site. So I would say this is a fairly competitive sort of phrase, but speeding fines, if I go and have a look down here at this site, the page title, it starts with Aussie speeding fines. Now I reckon if I type in Aussie speeding fines, these guys are probably number one. But who searches for that? So you got Fines Victoria, they don't have speeding fines up here, but Google knows it, quite often. This is where people will go to pay a fine. When you see site links like we're seeing here, like this, it typically means that it's an old site, that these are they will be links, if you like, from the navigation of the site. So that says that the site is stable, hasn't been changed for a long time. Google knows a lot about it. So there you go. There's those links that we were just talking about. Other types of my options, blah, 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 right? So this site here could benefit greatly if it dropped the word Aussie. Don't need it in your page title. As I've said before, you don't need it in if it's your brand. You don't need to put it in your page title. If you want to put it in your page title, if it makes sense, like it's speeding fines, it makes sense because you want to rank for that, right? Put it at the end of the page title. Like in this case, you can see here, what they really want to rank for is all these other phrases. But they're not, they don't have them at the start of the page title. They have them towards the end of the page title. And of course, I mean, there's some obvious stuff here that this page is missing, like H1s, all that sort of stuff. But if we go and have a look at demerit points, which is the other thing that accompanies speeding fines in Victoria and other parts of Australia, meaning that, you know, if you lose enough points, you could have your license suspended for a period, because you shouldn't speed, right? Simple as that. So it says here demerit points. I'm in the wrong country, so I'm just going to go .au here. And what I'm looking for is who was the number one result for demerit points closest to me, which is what Google's going to give me. So it's going to give me Vic Roads, and it's going to tell me all about the demerit points, Herald Sun. But once again, those other guys aren't there. So, but then we've got New South Wales. So right now, I would say that it's really easy for that guy selling that ebook to rank for demerit points in Victoria, because I've even got Queensland government here. So in this case, for that guy, even though the site's sort of like, 2005, he could, just bring him up here, he could, and I say he, might be her, they could rank quite easily for demerit points in Victoria and New South Wales. And what I would do in a situation like this, I would set up a page purely to target the phrase demerit points, and then give a state-based instruction about the demerit points on every state if you wanted to rank for the actual states. So, for instance, if I go demerit points. So now I'm going to see what the demerit points is like in volume against speeding fines. Look at that. That is massive. So no one really cares about speeding fines. So you see why you need to use Google Trends. Like, I hadn't done that search before I started this show. That's insane. So the thing that this guy should be ranking for, and those other lawyers and stuff out there that are trying to get business about speeding fines, isn't speeding fines. It's demerit points. That is insane. That's like 5 times the volume. Almost. That's incredible. So then what you do is you go and say, well, the site that's ranking number 1 for that, it's a PR4, this is a PR3, but this is a PR5. So you could say the page rank is all over the place. So it's not really playing a factor in this case. So what these guys who, speeding, Aussie speeding fines or whatever, they should have just a page about demerit points if they haven't already. And what you can do on your own site, if you want to work out, well, demerit points, what does Google think is the most important page on my site? You just do the search, demerit points, and then you do site, and then your site. Not just your site, actually the address of your site. So in this case, it would be Aussie, I've heard people say it, Aussie speeding fines.com. Testimonials, archive stuff, about the accuracy, blah, blah, blah. This is all just old stuff. I might become this guy's affiliate, I think, and sell his book, because there's a lot of volume in that search. It's amazing. So just those 2 tools in and of themselves. The other thing that you can use Aaron Wall's SEO for Firefox, which is this plugin here, is it'll tell you things like backlinks, how many domains are linking to a particular site, how many links there are to an actual domain, if it's been talked about on Reddit, if there's links from it on LinkedIn, Pinterest, blah, blah, blah. and also the age. So, for instance, this page here probably won't have a date on it because it looks like it's 2012. But Aaron Moore is 2007. There you go. So Aaron Moore, who created this tool, has been SEO for years. If you don't follow his stuff, get his book, SEO book. In fact, his site is seobook.com. But he's been around for God knows how long. But the thing I love about the tool is that, yes, it's easy to go and get all that information, but it just brings it into one nice place and makes it easy to see. And that, combined with Google Trends for a competitive analysis, is all you need. Hopefully that's helpful. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye. Drive slowly.